Hey, good day to you. Welcome to RFD, Illinois. I'm Rita Frazier.
I'm DeLoss Yankee. Hello there.
Hello. We were talking earlier about ham.
We were.
I mean, off air.
Oh, yes.
I think we just continued our conversation from yesterday.
Oh, boy. Well, you brought some in, and it was dynamite.
So good. No, dietitian Charlotte Fargo, good friend of the program and of agriculture. She talked with us yesterday about ideas for that leftover ham. You know, cubed in casseroles, on, and on.
More than just a ham sandwich?
Yeah. Mixing it with asparagus, if you had asparagus for Easter.
Okay, you're losing me a little bit, but go ahead.
Oh, right. Yeah. I forgot who I was talking to.
Where do you stand on ham salad?
I like ham salad. Okay. So there was FEMA's Catering and Deli in Beneld.
Oh, yeah.
Cha-ching.
Hello.
Their secret, if I can say, is on their ham salad was to mix equal parts ham and bologna.
Really?
Try it.
Huh. How about that?
Just enough moisture in there. You know, you have the ham and the bologna. I don't know. I'm a fan.
It's in the world of Instapot cooker, whatever, and all this stuff. There is a lost kitchen tool or appliance. That thing that you would attach to the counter and around it goes.
That is true.
That'd be, it's one of the things you put on Facebook and say, do you know what this is? And at a certain age, you'd be like, I have no idea what that is.
I'm hungry. Well, we have news to pass along, too.
Oh, yes.
We do.
We'll talk weeds in just a little bit as well with a gentleman we had on yesterday on RFD Today.
Stay with us.
Spring is here and things are buzzing. Farmers and pollinators are working together to help feed us. In fact, 1 out of every 3 bites of food we eat exists because of bees, butterflies, birds, bats, and other insects. Pollinators are important to our food system and the ecosystem overall. That's why farmers and those in the agricultural industry are working together to protect pollinators through education, research, and conservation efforts. Visit ilagformonarchs.org to join the buzz. That's ilagformonarchs.org.
All ag.
All Illinois.
All now.
There are a lot of smartphone apps out there, but do they have what's important to us here in Illinois? The Farm Week Now app does, and it's always at your fingertips. All ag, all Illinois, and 24/7 where and when you need it for free. Go to your app or Play Store on your smartphone, hit search, type in Farm Week Now, that's one word, and download it today. Brought to you by Illinois Farm Bureau, where we're all about farm, family, and food. Welcome back to RFD Illinois. On a Wednesday, I'm DeLoss Yankee. Visited yesterday with Dr. Stanley Culpepper, University of Georgia Extension Weed Specialist. He said after our interview he was going to go out and plant cotton, and they have a lot of weeds to contend with and don't get as much help from the crops either. He said his cotton wouldn't canopy until mid-July. So certainly Illinois has that and many other advantages from a production agriculture standpoint, but a lot of the messages are the same, especially in trying to fight weeds. Starting with start clean, stay clean, especially when you know the weed seed bank is already well stocked.
Every field in the state has the weeds, so there's no wondering if you have it or not. You know you have it. So when you're out to plant, whether it's in conservation tillage or conventional tillage, we have to make sure that weed's not already emerged. So if you're in an area where erosion is not an issue, tillage is certainly a valid, sound option for you. Other options, of course, are a multitude of different herbicides, but we got to make sure that pigweed's not there when we're planting, because if you start off behind, which if that weed's already an inch or 2 inches, in fact, I'm looking at one right now that's 6 inches, if you plant into a field like that, you're starting off behind, and you just cannot win starting off behind with a weed like Palmer amaranth.
Dr. Stanley Culpepper at Georgia Extension talking also about use of residuals, using multiple modes of action, but not those same multiples every year. We want to make sure that resistance can be avoided as much as possible.
It's not good enough just to know product A or product B. We have to know the herbicide mode of action of each of the products that we're using. Otherwise, we've got to rotate those herbicide modes of action. We've got to be diverse. So it's critical that we understand which modes of actions the products we really like belong to. For example, in our part of the world, flumioxazin or Valor's one of the names, and Fomesafen Reflex. They're the same class of chemistry. So my growers say, well, I'm rotating. But in the way that we're killing the weed, we're not necessarily rotating. So we've got to make sure we got a good sound management program, and that's exactly the kind of research I'm doing today. Is I want to build a program, provide that program to our growers, and if they follow that program, they're going to have a diversity in herbicide classes of chemistry, and they're going to have a diversity in overall management other than just using herbicides. Long term, we got to be better than just herbicides. We got to be integrated, and we got to implement a sound program.
Dr. Stanley Culpepper, Georgia Extension, was a guest yesterday on RFD Today. To Washington now, and the trade delegation headed by U.S. Department of Agriculture's Foreign Ag Service Chief Ken Isley comes at a key time for U.S. agriculture still under punishing Chinese tariffs on soybeans, pork, and other goods.
The trade delegation, headed by USDA's Foreign Agricultural Service Chief Ken Isley, comes at a key time for U.S. agriculture, still under punishing Chinese tariffs on soybeans, pork, and other goods. The U.S. group hopes to expand farm sales in Taiwan, which is already a big buyer of U.S. soybeans, sixth largest in 2017, and beef, but has restricted U.S. pork treated with leanness additive ractopamine. U.S. Trade Ambassador Robert Lighthizer told U.S. lawmakers recently ractopamine use is also an issue in trade talks with China.
We actually had long discussions on ractopamine, for those of you who are from the beef-producing areas, with the vice premier of China, so it was pretty detailed discussions.
Taiwan's ractopamine ban is a key impediment to a future Taiwan-U.S. free trade deal, though support is growing in the Congress, and the White House is boosting relations with Taiwan through arms sales and visits. But U.S.-Taiwan Business Council President Rupert Hammond Chambers says U.S. policy on ractopamine's been a dead end for 10 years.
My interlocutors in Taiwan lead me to believe that we would be able to deal with this in a broader agreement, not as a precondition to negotiating agreement. And that's an important difference in the approach that we've taken, and one that I believe would ultimately result in pork with ractopamine raised on U.S. farms being sold in Taiwan.
Taiwan last year committed to buy $1.5 billion worth of Midwest U.S. soybeans over 2 years, making up 10 to 15% of losses in China. The USDA delegation will be in Taiwan until Thursday and includes food and marketing groups from across the U.S., representing many major commodities and farm products.
That's Matt Kay in Washington. Rita will be up next on RFD, Illinois.
What's the excitement about buying a brand new car when you pay full price for it? County Farm Bureau members have a reason to be excited. A Farm Bureau membership gives you 2 car purchase discounts. When members buy a new Ford vehicle, they receive $500 off their purchase. And with the purchase of a qualifying Lincoln vehicle, they receive $750 off. Everyone loves a good deal, and the money saved is worth the price of our annual membership. This is just one of our 300,000 plus discounts that are always changing to fit our members' needs. Not a Farm Bureau member? Visit Illinois Farm Bureau online and join today.
Attention corn farmers. Your corn checkoff dollars are working with the U.S. Meat Export Federation to grow red meat export volumes. Because when we're exporting beef, we're also exporting corn. The beef industry consumes 28% of all corn fed to livestock, plus additional corn in the form of DDGs, a co-product of ethanol production. Now that's what we call working an angle. Your checkoff is working corn from all angles. Because of the Illinois Corn Marketing Board, your profitability is our bottom line. A message from the Illinois Corn Checkoff.
We check in the fields in Marion, Illinois today with Pioneer Field agronomist Eric Allinger. And Eric, you're in a part of Illinois that's very anxious to get into fields. Kind of paint us the picture of how things look and where you are today.
I'm in southeastern Illinois, so actually part of my area, Rita, has been to the field a couple of weeks ago in White and Gallatin County. We did get a start, and in fact, we do have some customers that have a fair amount of corn planted in Gallatin County, so actually part of this morning's activities will include going to look and see how that corn's doing. For the rest of the folks, just waiting to get back in, and so part of our words of encouragement to growers right now, you think it's late, it's really not. But when guys think they're late, they think they're pushed and they're pressed for time, they tend to do things in a hurry and maybe don't take the time to do things like they think like they should. So some of the things we were going to perhaps encourage growers to do is certainly vertical tillage tools, getting out there to quote, dry things out. Probably the best way known to man to create compaction, and that's compaction you'll live with throughout the growing season. It will not go away. Once you start it now, it's going to stay. So working ground wet with a vertical tillage tool, especially when you're not making any dust, is the gift that will keep on giving throughout the growing season. So that's one thing for sure, working ground wet. Anhydrous ammonia. Things can turn dry, and they can turn dry in a hurry. When we think about anhydrous ammonia, we always think about separating that from planting corn by space and time. Space is depth, 8 to 10 inches in depth. Time is theoretically could be a week, should be a week. But in many cases, if guys feel like they need to get moving, they may cut this down to 2 or 3 or 4 days. And again, especially if it turns a little bit dry, your risk of having anhydrous and seed corn get together runs much higher. And if that is the case, you're going to stand to risk injury to the seedlings and actually the seed corn itself. So we discourage guys to do that if at all possible. Planting depth is another thing. Again, guys sometimes feel like they want to shallow up a little bit and just kind of hurry the crop out of the ground. And we would encourage folks not to do that, especially with corn. We encourage planting depths at at least 2 inches to just ensure good rooting and plant development at that depth. And getting shallower than that there are a number of pitfalls that are well understood, from anything from fertilizer injury to herbicide injury, birds, ground not sealing, drying out. Like I said, a lot of pitfalls from planting shallow. So we encourage guys to take that into consideration as well. And maybe last but not least are rotational restrictions of last year's herbicides. So if you were fighting the good fight on weeds last summer, you made that late application of a methicillin product or in a pre-mixed product into mid-June, late June, even early July. We want you to remember that some of those herbicides have rotational restrictions to corn up to 10 months. And so it's probably not a bad time to review that before going to the field. Those are just some of the things on our mind right now, Rita, for growers to consider going into the 2019 planting season.
Pioneer Field agronomist Eric Allinger. Well, spotlight on Claire Geiger, FFA advisor at Nokomis High School, making a transition as we follow the ag teacher from Nokomis back to her home county of Madison in Highland. So you have had an awesome opportunity there with Randy Meyer and having a 2-advisor program. That means that you've got a lot of interest there.
Right. Not only do you have a lot of interest, but you provide the kids different opportunities. Each teacher can kind of specialize in an area and get them a little bit further in their passions within the industry.
Can you pick out a couple highlights from your time there in the last 4 years?
Some of the great things that we've done just in the classroom, I've definitely brought my love of agriculture science. And so we've had a couple kids compete at state in agri-science fair projects where they do an experiment, they record their data and present their experiments that they've conducted. So that's one of the great things that I think I brought. But definitely our FFA chapter has done quite a few different things. One of the great things this year that both me and Mr. Meyer have greatly immersed ourselves in was our record book areas. Kids keep supervised agricultural experience projects, and this year we had the great opportunity of providing 14 of our students the chance to compete at districts this year, where they interviewed on their project and what they've done and the leaps and bounds that they've made in not only their content areas that they're interested in, but they have to actually get in front of somebody and interview, really bringing together full circle those well-rounded kids and making sure that they can make it after high school in whatever path they choose.
So you're doing what you love. You've had lots of success, and we asked you to reflect today because this will, when you end this school year, it will end your time at Nokomis.
That's correct. I've loved my time here, but I've gotten a great opportunity to actually return to my home community of Highland, Illinois, and so I will start my year there in August.
Maybe thoughts, your hopes, goals for your new chapter of your life.
Yeah, I look so forward to working with Renee Barr down there, as well as the other new ag advisor, Mr. John Lamp. All three of us will be working together in order to keep Highland FFA chapter as strong as it has been, and hopefully put our own spin on it. But definitely something that I'm super excited about, getting back to my area, getting back to my heritage and roots. I grew up in the 4-H and FFA of Madison County and really hope to continue my involvement in those group.
Anything I didn't ask you, Claire, that you'd like to add?
As far as ag education goes, yes, it's my 4th year teaching, and I've had a great experience here at Nokomis, and you mentioned it right out of the gate. Working alongside a veteran teacher who knows their stuff, I don't think young agriculturalists or young ag educators really understand how much wealth of a knowledge that those guys can carry. I have learned so much in my time here from working alongside Randy, and to just bring everything together. He has just helped me along my way, no matter if I was going to continue here or go home. He really wanted to make sure that I was learning that skill set that I needed no matter where I was.
Claire Geiger will end her spring at Nokomis and then back to Highland to start next fall. We wish her the very best of luck. We'll break for markets and weather.
With the RFD Ag Market Summary for this Wednesday morning, I'm Jim Taylor. Corn lower, beans double-digit lower, and wheat ending Tuesday higher. May corn closing at $3.51 1/4, down 3 1/2. July corn $3.60 1/4, down 3 1/4. September corn $3.68 1/4, down 2 3/4. May beans closing at $8.62, down 15. July beans down 15 1/4, $8.75 1/2. August beans $8.81 1/2, down 14 3/4. May wheat closing at $4.38 3/4, up 3. July wheat up 3 1/4, $4.45, and September wheat $4.51 3/4, up 3. May bean meal $3.01 even, down 1.50. May bean oil $28.06, down 64 cents. In current electronic overnight trading, May corn up 1/2, July corn up 1/4, September corn up 1/4. $3.68 1/2. May beans in the overnight up 2 3/4. July beans up 2 1/2. August beans up 2 3/4. $8.84 1/4. May wheat in the overnight down 2 1/4. July wheat down 2 1/2, and September wheat down 2 1/4. $4.49 1/2. In the outside markets, June Brent crude oil $74.51, up 47 cents a barrel. The June gold contract up 190 this morning, $12.75.10. At the livestock market from Tuesday, May lean hogs $87.82, down 120. June lean hogs down 140, 92.37. April live cattle down 17 cents, 128.32. June live cattle 121.12, down 45 cents. May feeders 149.62, down 117. August feeder cattle up 7 cents, 159.70. Cash livestock at the Fairview Sale Barn this week, steers 137.50 the top. Illinois direct barrels and gilts trading steady on Tuesday at 51-60. And I'm Jim Taylor for the RFD Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Dan Hicks from Freeze Notice Weather with the early morning weather update on the RFD Radio Network on this Wednesday morning. Daytime highs in the 60s and 70s were common across much of the Midwest yesterday, with a few cooler and a few warmer readings. A system moving northeastward from the southern plains spread some showers and thunder showers back into the central and southern part of Illinois during the past 12 to 24 hours. This system will move eastward during the day today, with showers ending across the southern and central counties by later this morning into the afternoon. Another fast-moving system coming in from the northwest will spread some showers across the area Thursday afternoon through Thursday night. Greatest additional rainfall the next few days will be in the far southern part of the state, where some 1/4 to 1 inch additional amounts are expected. Over the rest of Illinois, rainfall into late this week should be relatively light. Looking ahead into the weekend and next week, the weather pattern looks fairly active across the Midwest. No long periods of dry weather are forecast. A system moving in from the west will bring some showers and thunderstorms back into the region this weekend. It looks like the weekend system will likely produce its greatest precipitation amounts in the northern part of Illinois. The temperature pattern through the weekend will be somewhat changeable from day to day as these weather systems move across the region, but no extremes are seen in most areas over the next several days. The weather pattern continues to look fairly active on into next week, and again, no long dry spells are seen over the next 1 to 2 weeks across most of the Midwest, including all of Illinois. Additional rain chances are expected across the region next week. 6 to 10 day rainfall will likely average near to above normal across most of the Midwest. 6 to 10 day temperatures will be coolest in the north central part of the country with some below normal readings. Farther to the south and east, above normal 6 to 10 day temperatures are forecast in most areas. I'm Dan Hicks from Freeze Notice Weather.
I'm Trooper Teal with Illinois State Police. As we enter spring planting season in Illinois, it is imperative to eliminate distractions in your vehicle and pay attention to the farm equipment on the roadway. At 55 miles per hour, it takes only 5 seconds to close the gap the length of a football field between you and a tractor moving 5 miles per hour. Distracted Driving Awareness Month in April is a united effort to recognize and eliminate preventable deaths from distracted driving. Join us to help save lives.
A message from the Illinois Farm Bureau and the Illinois State Police. If you're in the mood for some sprucing up, you're in luck. From big to small or farm to front yard, your Illinois Farm Bureau member discount from John Deere is ready and waiting to help. It's easy to think green when it's the Rewards Loyalty Program with savings on equipment, special parts, and home and workshop products. Whether your tasks involve mowing, planting, or cleaning, you'll be set for whatever your work requires. All you need to do is sign up, have your membership number handy, and go to johndeere.com/Farm Bureau.
Farm Week and FarmWeekNow.com journalist Kay Shipman connects rural routes for you. For 3 decades, Kay has delivered important news. She covers everything from legislative issues to the latest in soil and water conservation. Here's a bit about her rural roots.
I love covering so many aspects of agriculture and providing readers with the facts they need to make better decisions. I also get to work with farmers and meet new people along the way.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com and Farm Week keep you connected.
As you prepare for planting season, remember your neighbors. Whether you're an applicator, grower, or beekeeper, use FieldWatch to register your farm and monitor for sensitive sites around you. FieldWatch is a free, easy-to-use online mapping tool. Consulting FieldWatch is now a requirement for the over-the-top use dicamba products. Communicating with your neighbors will help you protect your farm and the environment. Don't wait. Go online to fieldwatch.com. Growing agriculture. We grow best together.
That is all the time we have for this edition of RFD Illinois. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
We salute a community today. Bobtown, an unincorporated community in Menard County.
I love it.
I wonder if Bobtown and Bentown would be arch rivals or how that would work.
Interesting.
We say hello. Sponsored by Country Financial. Your farm is your family's legacy and part of your hometown heritage. While you work sun up to sundown to get the job done, we're here protecting the things you love every step of the way. Country Financial. Learn more at countrycrop.com.
Quoting Tim Schweitzer, friends are friends until they find mushrooms.
Then it's all over.
For Jim Taylor, I'm Rita Frazier.
I'm DeLois Yonke. Have a great day.